Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Busy Moms Get It Done podcast. My name is Esther, Shittu. I am the host of this podcast. And today, the guest is me. It's been a little while since I've done just a Esther and camera, session or Esther and audio session, but I wanted to spend a little bit of time just reflecting on the past year. Last year, over a year ago, last year, I made the decision to start this podcast, and it has been, I'm not gonna lie, it's been tough. I've had a really tough time in the past year trying to keep the promise that I made to myself, which is to just keep going. Um, and because life. I am a mom of three. So let me restart and just reintroduce myself from those who do not know and who is hearing my voice for the first time. My name is Esther Shittu. I have three beautiful girls. And so I'm a mom of three, and also I worked full time. And this podcast was just something that I was excited to start because I wanted to speak to moms who have been experiencing perhaps not feeling. I wanted to speak to moms who are doing two things. They're raising their kids in a way that's intentional and also they are following their passions and their dreams. And I wanted to hear about all different experiences. And I got to speak to so many beautiful and wonderful women in the past year. But it has been hard to keep my cadence going. It has been hard to do every week. And then I did switch to every 2 weeks because life is unpredictable. And I just hit like a burnout session about February, March time. Even though I took December off, I hit a burnout because I was just doing a lot. I was doing a lot. I was raising my kids. I was doing work, and I was trying to keep up with this. And that's not an excuse. I know that's not an excuse. I know people who do a lot more than me and they just keep going, but I'm just not. I just know myself, and that just wasn't my story. However, it has been such an amazing ability to keep a promise to myself. This is the first time that even though I feel like I've had to crawl, I have done something for a full year. I've done something where I just kept going. And it's been an amazing journey to keep a promise to myself. Um, I don't know where we're next from this. I do plan on keeping going. We're gonna keep on keeping on, as they say, but I do plan on being more intentional and having more guests, and I hope to get more feedback. Like what kind of stories or what kind of moms, what type of moms do you guys want to hear from? What type of moms do you want to listen to? What type of topics do you want to explore? I very much want this to be an interactive journey, um, and not necessarily a Esther driven journey. Um, but here are some of the things that I have learned in the past year. One thing is that it's okay as long to keep going in whatever capacity that you can. I think that one of the things that we have heard on the podcast about consistency is not going full speed at every time. I think Lisa Richards was the one that's like, consistency may be showing up 1 day a week. It may be showing up 3 days a week, like consistently showing up in the capacity that is good for you. And there was another guest that said that to me at the very beginning of the journey, and she's like, well, nobody knows what your capacity is, and they don't know what your situation is, but you do it the way that benefits you. And I think I've definitely grown to be like, if this is something I can only do where I put out one episode a month, that's what I'm going to do. For something where I put out 2 episodes a month, that's what I'm going to do. So consistency seems sometimes like a dirty word. Like I need to be consistent, and I'm not being consistent, but I've aimed to be as consistent as putting out episodes as much as possible. As I said, this is just going to be a yap session, just yapping. Another thing that I've learned is that there's so many women doing so much, and our realities are just completely different. I admire so much of my guests, but I've come to recognize that my reality and their reality is definitely a different form, right? I admire like some of my guests are like making so much and they have like they just have different value system. I think that that's something that God has had to teach me this year is that I have a value system that I am holding on to. And I gonna be honest, I don't know if I'm gonna keep holding on to it, and not in terms of my beliefs. I'm gonna always be a Christian, but just in terms of the way that I raise my kids, I have like a definitely something that I'm stubborn and I'm jealously guarding and I don't want to let go of it. But um circumstances might mean that I have to let go of it, unfortunately. But the point is that we all do things differently. We all have value systems, you know, like some people might want to, I don't know, be there for every single activity. Um, and others are like, I'm just gonna be there for my kids and the ones that are very important. Like I don't need to go to um that one class performance, but I can be there for the recital, right? I can be there for something like that. And so listening to all the women and seeing their value systems and seeing the way that it plays out, it is a very interesting dynamic to see and to witness. The third thing is I think that, especially most recently, is just how amazing women are. Like how amazing we are able to reinvent ourselves and we're able to do things that are just like extraordinary. And more so like, that's always been my goal, to show that we can do both. We can do so much. We can raise the kids that we in the way that we want to, but do it in a well-balanced manner. I'm still figuring out what that balance means, especially for me. But to me, it's like, yes, I am working, but also like the moments where I get to pause and like just I take my kids to the beach a few days ago, and I just being able to like watch them play and be in the sun and just enjoy themselves and not like be worried about anything with their kids. And it's that is my definition of balance. Like I'm working most of the time, and my kids always know that, you know, mommy's working. But then like to take a breather, to take a break, to go to the beach, to go to the pool, to experience those joy, to enjoy my kids, right? My value system, I guess, going back to the topic of value again, is I want to enjoy my kids. I want to provide memories that, you know, I don't know, maybe I just want to provide memories and I want to have it. I truly believe that life is so short and we just don't know. We don't know what's going to happen in the next day. I mean, live responsibly, but also like live with intention. Like take the beach day, take the day off. Um, the fourth thing that I am starting to learn is that it's okay to take a break. It's okay to to not be the person who can go full force. Because there are instances, there are seasons. I think that's a common theme that I've learned through the past year, and it's a common thing through all the guests that I've interviewed, is the idea of seasons. People have different seasons, right? The Bible talks about there's a time for planting and there's a time for harvesting. And it's hard when you're in the season of planting, and it's hard when you're just not sure what season you're in, or you've put the seeds in the ground and it just feels like you're not reaping, you're not harvesting anything. And so like that has been like remembering that there is a season and there is a time. I have seen the way that God has made me grown in this past year, or even most recently, where I'm just like, you know, there's just times and seasons. Just to give a quick personal story, I there was supposed to be something that was supposed to happen, and I was supposed to be able to have like a a speaking thing for work, and it just, like, they were like, "We're gonna get back to you," and then, come to find out the speakers have already been taken and, and I was like, "Okay." And I mean, like, in that s I was just like, "It's just not the time. It's just not the time, or it's just not the season." And so it's been a wild year. It's really been a wild year, but I think that my main thing is thank you to everyone who had, followed me for whatever reason, or who subscribed to the YouTube channel, or who even took a time to listen for whatever reason you listened. I appreciate it from the depths of my soul, from the bottom of my heart. I'm grateful for each and every single person. It's been a wild year. It's been a very wild year. Thank you guys for everything. Like I said, I just plan on keep on keeping on, and let's move on to the next year.